Good morning from Paradise Surfers. My name's Crypto Amaru. Of course, we got Nick the Hitman out here as well. Pleased to be joined with a new friend of ours, Jack, the founder of a project. We just called it $100,000 market cap to the SURF DAO. It's a meme coin movement on Solana. We really liked the narrative. We liked the vision behind it, the team. We wanted to have Jack on as a founder, project spotlight. So let's kick this thing off. Great to have you on, man. Tell us, before we get into substance, just want to get to know you a little bit. Like, when did you get into crypto and what were you doing before you got into the crypto space?
Thanks for having me here, guys. Yes, it's an honor to be on the show. Well, my life in crypto started back in 2017. At the end of the bull market, I didn't know much about crypto. I was studying in the background, but I joined at the end of the party, and you know what happened when you join the wrong time. So I saw my initial investment collapsed into almost zero, but this was kind of perfect for me because I took the time to embrace crypto 100%. So all I did in 2018, I took my time to learn everything I could about crypto. That time was the masternodes era. So I was kind of learning everything that I could to build the masternodes just to kind of accumulate. And I never sold the bags. That was, almost just at best. Luckily, everything came back around 2021. So that was a good lesson to hold, to make good choices in the crypto that you invest. And here we go. Since 2000, middle 2018, I became full-time crypto, and I'm here until now.
Yeah, man, I love that. We actually got it. We got involved at basically the same time. I was maybe a little bit, before you in the earlier part of 2017, but just on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and only dabbled in alts. At the end of 2017 when everything was pumping, so I lost a bunch of money in that cycle. You know what I mean? But I'm glad you stuck with it. Learn the lesson of holding. That's what it's all about. So, real OG here. Glad to have you. So, let's shift gears over to substance. So, tell us about the substance. What it is. Why did you want to create this meme coin, and what's the future for it?
The substance, it's something intriguing. It's something that after watching the movie, I don't know if people know, but the substance is inspired from a movie, which is quite unusual type of movie. But the goal here is to create a glue that connects the DJs together. Some sort of a movement where when people see the green glowing eyes or the activator, they are already identified as one of them. So it's kind of a way to kind of, get together the people that made out of the trenches, kind of trading memes every single day like this life. Yeah, we really.
Yeah, that's what kind of drew me to it. First of all, the imagery is very powerful, but kind of just this notion that you can almost escape the trenches by joining this community by activating. There's a very visual representation of it. That's a very memeable concept. I think these movement coins are actually kind of the new trend, you could say, in memes, rather than cats, dogs, and I'm sure those cats and dogs and so on. The character-based memes will have their moment in the sun again. But what it feels like to me is right now the movement memes are what's trending heavily now, and so this one seems very much aligned with that narrative. Nick, I'm curious your thoughts, like taking a quick gander at the X and your background, having been involved with the project for a while now too. Nick, what drew you to the substance?
Yeah, man, it's really cool. These AI videos are really awesome. From my understanding, this is more of just a straight up meme coin right now that might get more utilities in the future. But cult memes is what's doing really well. That's what Murad is really on. We're working with a project called Fuck 9 to 5. We got involved at like 300K market cap and went to like $4 million market cap. And this is kind of reminds me of that a bit. Getting that cult mentality, getting the call to action. And then also for those who might be a little bit older, or have seen the action movie Limitless, this kind of reminds me of Limitless as well. He takes that little pill and kind of opens up his full brain power and his full, possibilities in his life, his full potential. And that's kind of what Activated reminds me of when I watch all these videos that you guys are doing.
100%. I mean, it's spot on. The goal here is to kind of create this, I wouldn't say this elite group, but this group that starts with, the people that really want made out of the trenches like we did, and we want to bring all the people together, right? So creating almost this kind of a secret society inside the crypto. And of course, our goal is to expand massively and have as many people as we can. However, giving the source of, that, the idea that you belong to something, that you belong to this inner group, you know what I mean? So that's where the substance kind of comes from.
So how has the
I
onboarding and community growth gone so far? I know, Crypto Paradise, we just called it around a little bit less than 100,000 market cap. Charter's doing good. You guys were a pump fund. You graduated and bonded. But how has, community outreach been going? How has community growth been going? Are there any other groups or KOLs or anything that's showing interest in this kind of cult meme coin that you're trying to make here?
100%. We have a bunch of people hitting up via DMs, some quite well-known influencers that we are working together behind the scenes. It's quite early right now. We just launched like a week ago. We've been strategically, quiet from the beginning just to make sure that the people that is holding the tokens, the ones that really want to push it, because as we all know, it's quite difficult nowadays, especially in the Solana ecosystem, that people to have the old mentality of holding tokens. So since we want to create this elite group where people, is part of something bigger, we want to make sure that the base is very strong. Now that we found that base, it's time for us to activate and go a little bit faster. So yeah, you can expect to see good movements from now on.
And Ian, before you get to the next question, you saw me just marking the chart there. This is when the SURF DAO was made aware that we would be working with Dose and Activated. This was right here at 80,000 to 100,000 market cap. You can see price has been doing pretty well. So if you want to get these alpha calls before these interviews get done, before these projects really get their next stage of growth, you need 200,000 SURF or more. Get into the DAO, and you'll be the first to know about the calls that Crypto Paradise is making and the good projects that are going to work hard for you and your backs.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I think just the beginning for the substance, just seeing the branding, the narrative, your experience in the space, the influencers that and you're obviously not, you're keeping some things close to your chest, which I think is the right move. But folks should read between the tea leaves and understand, hey, if we are in fact on the precipice of an alt season here, and ETH, by the way, just hit $2,800 as we're on this call, then $200,000 market cap for something like the substance is still quite early. I do want to get your take real quick. We normally do ask about the market. We love to hear from our guests what they think about where we are in the cycle and how they view things. So, what's your take? Are we about to see an alt season here, or is this going to be another fake out and Bitcoin dominance is still going to be high and alts are going to continue to suffer? Where do you stand on that?
I like to analyze the potential, based on the previous years. I think right now we are in a prime position. We have the substance for quite some time ready to go. We decided strategically to go right now because we believe that the next 6 months is going to be explosive. Historically, August is not a very good month. Maybe this year can be different, maybe not, but I think July, as we can see, is going really well. And September, October, November, I think is going to be the euphoria time, right? And the substance at these levels, I think we can easily see a great upside. In terms of the bull market, I believe that after November, December, we can see a massive cool down. I hope not, but if the history, repeats itself, probably that's what's going to happen. But I think for the substance right now, we are in a prime position. I think the team really understands that, and the team is ready to put full force to push this right now.
Yeah, I think you made a good call on launching it when you did. The beginning of an uptrend, always better than the middle or the end, and we'll have to see. I mean, this bull run, it's been different so far. I mean, it's rhymed. It hasn't exactly repeated. And so there's a question, I think, in our minds and in the minds of maybe many others, whether this bull run ends up extending beyond the typical like November, December blow off top, because we had a bit of a delay in getting here, right? Like if you think back to
100%.
2021, we were already in full blown alt season going on for many, many months at this time of the year in 2021. But this time around, we haven't done squat for most of the year up until basically now outside of Bitcoin running. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
we
Maybe
had
it's just longer than December. We'll have to cross our fingers, but I think Substance launched the perfect time.
we had a good run back in January this year, but nothing compared to the euphoria modes that we have been seeing in the past cycles. So
Right.
we are really expecting that, and I think a bunch of meme coins will explode in market cap, and I think Substance is going to be one of them, 100%.
So I want to circle back because you mentioned the team, right? So talk to us about the team. How many folks are working on this? What any prior success stories you guys may have had too?
Yeah, we have a quite good team. I would say 10 people active working on the Substance behind the scenes. Many of them extremely well connected with other founders as well, other projects, really good experience. So we feel very comfortable that we can take days where we envision. Um, the whole team had really good experience with other projects and projects that went really well. I don't think it's smart to mention other names here just because we want to really focus on the substance. But yeah, the team is quite well experienced, especially in the meme space. Um, yeah, and I think
That's
we are.
very good to hear. Very good to hear. Meme. I mean, people think that launching a meme is just easy. Oh, anyone can do it. We can all get rich. Everyone's just going to get rich doing it. Like, no, it's actually pretty damn hard. Very hard, I would say. And you kind of have to understand the intricacies of it. You have to understand what people are looking for, what things to avoid doing. You have to have people who are willing to actually hold the token for a long period of time and diamond handed. Otherwise, just you get constant sells from the team or early buyers. It's very hard to run. So yeah, memes. People think it's easy, man, but it's really not. So I'm glad to hear you're experienced in that, and we definitely wish you all the best. Talk to us about the token distribution for a bit, right? Because that's a very important part of meme coins, right? You can go on bubble maps. You don't want to see a bunch of bundling. You also don't want to see too many huge whales, but you do need some supply control, right? So it's that kind of that balance. Talk to us how you're viewing, the token distribution side of things with Substance.
Yeah, with the Substance, we launched on Pump Fund, so anyone could get in extremely early. As people did, I don't know, 20K market cap, which is the best you can get. Fortunately, these people that got in early are people that believe in the project in the long run, and we have a bunch of people asking to be connected with the team, to help as much as they can because they really see this growing, quite fast, especially in these market conditions that we have. The team has a substantial amount of tokens, not total, supply control, because we really want to have a good distribution, and of course have an amount of tokens that we can support the growth of the token with marketing, influence, and things like that. As you said, it's extremely difficult to run a meme token. People think that just because you can go and pump.fun and launch a token in a few minutes, that it's going to be successful. No, it's almost impossible. That's why we see a bunch of people launching tokens and just abandon after a few hours, right? So the ones that really want to take to the next level, they need to have a plan, they need to have a team, they need to have the capital to do that, and they need to have the connections, because otherwise it's going to be just based on luck, which is, can happen. But here we really have a strategy, and we really want to take this to the next level with the people that is connected to us with the team.
Yeah, I think everything you said is really important, because meme coins, it's more than just luck, and sometimes a narrative just catches on. But if meme coins, if you can't lean on token economics or a fundraise, or if you can't lean on individual token utility or buybacks and burns or whatever, you need to lean on what memes are meant to lean on, and that's the narrative, that's the cult-like community, and building that community of believers, and making people laugh, or building a messaging that resonates with people and makes them want to buy and hold your token. And it seems like you guys are doing that. The other side of the plan is you need awareness. If nobody knows about Dose and the Substance project, then nobody can buy it. So having those connections, one of the connections you made here with Crypto Paradise, obviously these types of things are very beneficial, and how you can get yourself out of the crowd is by the connections that you made. We always say it, your network is your net worth, and that applies more than ever in meme coins in this attention economy.
100%. I mean, we see thousands of tokens being launched daily. So this is attention, driven economy. So if we do not put the efforts to really push this forward with the full force, it's almost possible to stand out. One thing that we're really focused on is on the type of the content that stand out by itself. However, we still need, the influencers, the KOLs, the people that can push this forward and get the exposure that we are expecting.
Yeah, it all comes together, right? Team, narrative, influencers, long-term vision, it all kind of comes together. And even then, there's no guarantee of success. Even if those things are all lined up and it looks great, you never really know. No guarantees in life. So as ever, folks watching this, do your due diligence, join the Telegram, ask questions before you decide to get involved with the substance. Always good to put that disclosure. We have bags, by the way, so we are believers. We're bought in. Full disclosure there. But for anyone looking to take a position, you got to do your own research. See if you like it for yourself. For me, I really like it because you can see how this narrative and the imagery and the story lends itself to kind of long-term, let's say, marketing plans or long-term expansion. So talk to us about the long-term future of substance. Like, where do you see this in like 6 months, 12 months from now, kind of thing?
Right now, what we want to focus 100% is to build a very strong community. Once we have that and a good exposure, of course, we have a bunch of plans. I mean, the team is very creative, and the things that we brainstorm daily is, type of things that, all the DJs in crypto really like. I mean, meetups in different cities, especially if you're having a major event, let's say in Dubai, the token, 49, we could have a side event for, the substance. Merchandise is something that we really like to, to have as well. Seeing people using the t-shirts, the hoodie, saying activated, something that we really envision. We are not promising a massive roadmap because, again, it's a meme token, but we have some things that we really want to achieve. And with a good community, with a good user base, I think we can do that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The one thing with this is, yes, it's the imagery is this is top notch AI generated stuff. But like you said, if this does catch on and does make a cult community, this whole like activator leads you to a potential roads of actual real world adoption or real world merchandise, whether that's shirts, but activator, I'm already thinking that could be an energy drink. That could be some kind of pre-workout supplement. That could just be, fancy water. I don't know. But there's just so many things that potentially, if you got the cult-like following, if the project does well, that this can lead to some kind of real-world product that could then obviously turn this from more of a meme coin to some kind of real-world brand.
I mean, you just went spot on that. I mean, this is the type of things that we brainstorm daily in our team. Yeah, if we manage to reach critical mass, get good exposure, then of course we would love to implement this type of things, 100%.
Yeah, activator is the substance you need in order to get in the trenches and get rich. Just like you say, buy, activate, get rich. Activator is your chance at financial freedom, but activator hopefully gets you locked in to make gains everywhere in crypto.
100%. I would love to see, an NFT collection from the substance that gives you access to, well, for example, just brainstorming right now, inside trading groups like you guys. I mean, all the DJs love to, to be one step ahead of the game. So if you have enough tokens, well, X tokens of substance, and we have the NFT, this could be one of the utilities that I think would kind of make sense for people to get in.
Yeah, there's so much you can do with this narrative and the brand you guys are building, and that's what we always want to see, right? Like, because we are long term by nature, and we don't want to just invest in something that has no chance of long term success. This, I think, really has the opportunity to go the distance and create a brand, create all those activations, as you say, right? There's so much you can do with it. So, are still early days. Obviously, you're not promising anything, will happen per se, but there's a lot that can be done. I think it will be done. So let's switch gears. You want to comment on something?
Yeah, just quick one. I think the main difference here, and you understand this very well, since we came from 2018, 17 years of crypto, we have this whole mentality. We have this idea of building something, which is nowadays, especially seeing, Pump Fund and all these other, platforms where you can easily, launch your token. A lot of people lost that mentality, and we want with the substance bring it back. So if you can, I think that would be a win-win for the, for the community and for the crypto market, because yes, people chasing daily runners, it's good and bad, but you're going to get burned the majority of the time. And we don't want people just to invest and lose the money like in a few hours. Or another thing that's extremely, frustrating, when you buy a token, you go to sleep and wake up, you don't have anything anymore. That is like a nightmare. So we want something that people can believe in the future, be part of something meaningful, and vibe with us. Try to kind of explain to this new generation and demonstrate to the new generation that yes, holding the tokens is still fun.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. We got this cycle has been all about dopamine hits and these young investors, and they're just trying to flip for 20% gains or rug or nothing. And they don't understand. The reason we had massive alt seasons in the past is because these projects, whether it was a meme coin or utility, laid out a vision. They had supply control, and they got real believers to buy and hold their tokens. On top of that, they were making real world money and bringing it into crypto and DCAing into those positions, looking for the future. And some of those didn't work out, but some of those are now market leaders and are worth hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. You look at Doge, you look at Shiba Inu, you look at Floki, you look at Cardano, you look at BNB. Those were all just visions. But they got communities behind them, they got holders behind them, they got dollar cost averages behind them, and that's how you thrive and survive. These dopamine junkies, yes, they'll get a 3x today, and then tomorrow they'll get rugged and lose it all. So, we're trying to bring back the mentality of have some conviction, believe in what you're getting in, support your bags, and shill your bags until we can make it. Because this short-term stuff is why there is so many rug pulls, because the devs know they can launch, they can rug pull, they can make $1,000, $2,000, and they can do it all over again tomorrow. And until that mindset changes, it's going to be really hard for any meaningful altcoin season to happen here in the crypto markets, regardless of what Ethereum does.
I get your point completely, and I also understand the other side, why a lot of people doesn't want to hold the tokens anymore, because they get burned all the time. So, I mean, for example, myself, I got burned so much last year, with my old mentality of holding tokens, that I said, okay, we need to do something regarding, this. I mean, changing this narrative. I think people need to see the project that really want something for the long term. I think bringing back those projects will help to people to understand, yeah, I can choose to go to, a project X that, just launched, today, or that one that is already, 6, 7 months, into the vision. I mean, now I have a choice. I don't need to keep just, chasing daily runners for my games. And the substance is one of them. We really want people to understand the vision. Yeah, do your due diligence, ask questions, study the community, see a good entry on the chart, because I do not suggest people just buy the hype as well. Understand, see what makes sense for you, and be active in the community. This whole point of activate is engage, be, part of the community, understand the vision. Once you feel connected to the other people in the same vision, it's much easier for you to, hold for the long term.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, it does go both ways. If there weren't so many rugs, then maybe people would be willing to hold for longer. But folks got to engage in some critical thinking. Not every project is the same. Not every project is designed to be a rug. Some are trying to build something, for the future. And whether it works out, there's nothing guaranteed in life. Whether this goes to 100 million or a billion is not a guarantee. But I'll tell you this: I've done well in crypto. But I didn't do well by just flipping 2x's all day. I did well because a handful of the projects I invested in last cycle did 100x and more.
Yes.
But it didn't happen overnight. It took like 3 or 6 months,
Yes.
And so, but that's the lesson I took away: is you got to hold sometimes if you want to make truly life-changing gains. If you want to make $1,000 here, there, whatever, okay, sure, do your gambling thing. But if you want to actually change your life and escape the rat race and be able to quit your job, et cetera, and go full-time crypto, whatever, you kind of have to hold, because you ain't doing it flipping $500 turning into $1,000, unless you're extremely, extremely good at it. But chances are you won't. So believe in something, hold on, understand where we are in the market cycle too, right? Like, if this is the beginning of an alt season, things can absolutely go parabolic, and certain alts, probably not all, but some will do 100x and more from these levels. So just remember that. Learn from the OGs, learn from the people that have actually done well in crypto. I doubt you talk to many people that got super rich flipping in the trenches.
Yeah, 100%. I only see people getting burned every single day. And also, it's almost impossible to keep that pace. It's really tiring. You need to live your life. You need to touch grass. You need to, spend time with family. And just trying to chase, daily runners is almost impossible. It's much easier if you have a conviction, if you identify a handful of projects that you really believe, you're part of the community, you are engaged, you are loud. That's when you see the big gangs. Well, at least that's what happened with me in the past, and you just had worked with you as well. I think that is the easiest way for you to get something out of crypto, especially in the meme space. But people wants to do whatever they want to do, so we can only
People are stubborn, right?
help
They got to learn
people.
the hard way. Everyone's got to learn the hard way. Like, they're not going to listen to
Exactly.
me, you. They'll hear us, be like, "Oh yeah, no. I'm gonna go to the casino and I'll get rich at the casino. I'll prove them wrong." And then of course they won't, and then they'll eventually come around to our position, which is, yeah, find something you believe in, buy in early, support, and then take profits once it hits something respectable.
100%.
Yeah, and we're coming up on 30 minutes here for this interview. We've kind of got a background on yourself, a background on the substance, and of course the DOS ticker symbol. That is your token. So is there anything that we missed about the company itself, the substance, or your token DOS, which was a pump fund token that is now bonded, has been doing extremely well, been running here, currently over 200,000 market cap. You can find it on Dextrainer. You can find it on Dex Tools. What's going on? Anything that we missed?
I think we cover pretty much everything. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free. But I think we gave a good understanding of our vision for the substance and what people can expect from it.
Yeah, and your website is thesubstance.fun, or you can find them on X at the_substance_X. We showed all of those, as well as we also showed the DEX tools and the DEX screener. So make sure to check out a DOS ticker symbol. I will give you some advice. It looks like you guys have updated the DEX screener, but so far DEX tools hasn't been upgraded. I would go over to DEX tools today and get that upgraded. I think it's something like $300, but you know, if you believe in the long-term future of this and it's going to 2 million, 20 million, 200 million, you know, getting that proper exposure, and when people get over to DEX tools, making sure they're buying the right DOS token, that will be very helpful.
It's right here on our list, not just the DEX tools. I mean, DEX tools is it's a platform that been used quite a lot in the past, especially in the last cycle. I know the DEX screener people using the most now, but exposure is exposure. So if you want to be successful, you need to be everywhere, especially with nice branding. Show as much as you can. Yeah, DEX tools, it's in our list. We're gonna also verify on SoulScan, Moon Talk. Yeah, there's a bunch of things that we are, you know, currently doing.
Love it, man. Well, appreciate you coming on. This is why you tune into Crypto Paradise interviews. This is why you get in the SURF DAO, finding about these gems before they even get their DEX tools fully updated.
Yeah.
So we try to bring you guys to alpha. Really appreciate you jumping on here, man. We're going to be helping to market substance here on Crypto Paradise for the foreseeable future. So keep a lookout for some fun videos. You know, we're here to get activated and support you guys. So appreciate your time, man. Until next time, see you on the beach.
Love it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye.